Hey, Fancy Action Now fans, this is El Viejo Toro, and we're going to do the trailer reaction to Dragon Age, the Dread Wolf, the Dread Wolf Rises. Okay, they're abandoned that one word, easy to remember, Inquisition, Origins, etc., etc. It is the Dread Wolf Rises from the Video Game Awards. Oh, that's like something I intentionally miss every year. And as a gamer, and it's mainly for the trailers. And I watch the trailers after the show, obviously. But that being said, we are going to go right into it. We are going to start the trailer now. Some huge ancient lawn ornament. Something's cracking with heat from within. A piece of blighted metal.
So, you found me at last. So, I suspect you have questions. You found me at last. I suspect you have questions.
Wow. Okay. Game of the Year edition. Well, that's a short trailer. I'll tell you what. It's absolutely a teaser in all respects, because it is incredibly short for fans of the game, for in folks to the game. Now, for somebody who's not a huge fan of the series, it leaves you kind of what? It is intriguing, though. It is intriguing. Now, another wrinkle on this saga is, I guess there's been some discussion on Twitter about the woke nature of the game developer. It's got people concerned, and rightly so, based on the year that we've just experienced. And again, I'm making videos like EA is now a political party. EA, what I stated in there is EA is a political party. They are a political platform that uses video games as their soapbox, their venue, to propound these concepts. And again, I'm not saying concepts are good or bad, but part of a little bit of this has me worried that they're taking their eye off the ball as far as the game and the gamers versus, and understanding their demographic. The narrative director John Epler has made some comments regarding the game, and these are some of his thoughts. A few folks telling me after seeing my Twitter profile not to bring any politics into the game. So you have fans of the series, you have customers that are reaching out to this person on Twitter. Dragon Age has always been about belonging, about realizing that family is more than blood, and about celebrating our diversity and differences. It will remain so, unquote. So, I don't know. Again, even with Mass Effect, there's elements of it, but it wasn't the. Now, Mass Effect Andromeda is a different story. It really became kind of wall art at that point. It just got to be, this is what you're here to see, and the game is there to facilitate the message. That's what I'm saying is that there might be a message in the game, but when the game's purpose is to facilitate that message, or to be the conveyance of that message, you're taking your eye off the ball. You're not serving a customer anymore. Again, you're propounding a political view. So now he makes a couple interesting comments. He says, Dragon Age is about hope, about how love and friendship are forces for good, and about how in the end what we have is each other. So that's very nice. It's a little kumbaya, you know, it's a little Pollyanna, to be honest. But it's nice. It's nice. Ultimately, though, all art is politics, and this is what made me want to do this video. Not all art is politics. Politics universally use art because it influences. Politics, or even government, the word government comes from mente in Latin, which means to control the mind. Okay, so you're trying to convince, you're trying to gain a large consensus. The way you do that with a lot of people is you appeal to emotions like love and friendship are forces for good. These are appeals to emotion, right? They want, again, it gets you out of logic and reality and into a fantasy that doesn't truly exist. But isn't that what we're supposed to be creating? Is this utopian kumbaya, love and hope for everybody and all this other stuff? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? And is that a reality? Will that ever be a reality given the nature of people? You got to ask yourself that question, because when I see stuff like hope, love, friendship, good, these are all wonderful concepts, and these are all concepts I believe in and strive for. But then I also understand the reality, the inverse. We live in a reality where everything has its opposite. It's actually one of the most basic scientific maxims, cause and effect. Electricity and magnetism, love and hate, crime, justice. We live in a duality. We're actually, look at the human body. We're split right down the middle. We have a right and a left hemisphere of the brain where the consciousness lives, and both sides of the brain think differently, and they're connected with the corpus callosum, which is switching signals back and forth and tries to get. I mean, that is the ultimate secret of every kind of esoteric teaching, is finding the balance. It's always about balance. 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 4 ventricles of the heart, 2 and 2. I mean, we are literally 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils. Lip is creased right in the center. I mean, we are an expression of duality. So what I worry about is when I call these opinions Pollyanna, it's not to be insulting to it, because I wish that's the way things were. But no, we live in a dualistic reality where there is an opposing element to everything. That's where, I like karma so much, is where it's like, there's a balance to it. Somebody does harm to you, you can say, well, turn the other cheek. Eventually karma will catch up with that person. I truly believe that. So when I see things like that, I see these appeal to emotions, and he makes a statement like all art is politics. This is important to understand, because in essence, what he is declaring an absolute, that every work of art is political or has a political motivation. And that couldn't be less true. Art is something that is spontaneously created by a person through their consciousness into a physical medium. Art is one of the most sacred, holy, blessed things that I think that humans can do. And he is debasing that by calling it political. All art is political. All art, I quote, all art is politics, unquote. Couldn't be less true. Now, all politics use art. The flag, for one, designing the flag. the seals, this great seal of the United States, and every state has its own seal, and it's all very representative of a lot of different things. I don't want to get into all that. But the colors they use are extremely significant. Look at communist art. Look at art from Russia during the Soviet period. Again, it's very emotional. It's very dramatic. It's, and you're only allowed to, in the Soviet Union, you were only allowed to, they restricted art because they understand how powerful it is. They understand that it is a method of control, and it is a more potent method of control than the gun. If you can inspire millions with art and imagery, you don't need the gun. And ultimately, it gives you a veneer of legitimacy because you're not using the gun, you're using art, okay? So all politics use art. The American eagle, this proud symbol, the Statue of Liberty, this strong, erect figure of motherhood and womanhood, and powerful images like that. This is art that was designed to influence, but that is not all art. Art can affect you profoundly and it not have any political affiliation. I'll give you a story, and because I don't want to make this too long, because this is going to be way longer than the trailer. But the photo of, or not the photo, I'll give you two examples. I traveled to Rome, and I traveled to Italy. I went to Rome, Florence, Milan, and Venice, right? And I went to several art galleries. I went to the Uffizi gallery in Rome, and there I saw the actual birth of Venus, the painting itself. And you've seen it reproduced. Even in, I think it was Time Bandits, Uma Thurman and all that. But to see the actual painting, which is on a wall, it's a wall, it's the size of a large wall. It's huge. And I've seen the birth of Venus image reproduced dozens of times in my life before I saw that painting. And I literally stood open-mouthed at this the unbelievable epic imagery of this painting when I stood and I saw the actual painting, the real painting. The Statue of David. We've all seen the Statue of David. We've all seen people have little statuettes in their yard, and it's like you've all seen it. But it's like 10 feet tall. It's like 9 or 10 feet tall. It's huge. I didn't realize how big it was. I thought it was life size. It's not. It's two times life size. And when you stand at the foot of that work of art, it's there. You are literally stunned into silence. The whole room is packed with people, and when people get from the line into the room to view the David, it goes quiet as a church. Staggering beauty. Art has that power, and it's not attached to any political element. It is for itself. If I could say that about art, it is for itself, and that's all. Political movements and politicians use art. So much discussion goes into their campaign posters, what kind of a logo, what kind of a font, what kind of colors, how we're going to differentiate ourselves from the opponent, etc., etc., what kind of suit, what color tie, all of it. Fashion, art, all of it is used because it influences people. Art is for itself. Art is not politics. Thank you. He goes on to say, it's just a hell of a lot easier to ignore it when these politics match up with yours. So basically he's saying, if you don't agree with my opinion, that's on you. That's basically you don't like my art because you have a different political opinion than me. Again, he's turning the art into politics. Art is not politics. I don't like that statement. That's a very passive aggressive statement. I wear my heart and beliefs on my sleeve, and I always will. So basically, and again, to me, I'm hearing a double meaning here. I like to take people on their word, take it at face value, prima facie. I wear my heart and beliefs on my sleeve. That means you're easily offended, and you're putting them in people in everything, and it's up in your face all the time. He's putting his beliefs and his politics up in your face. That is the I wear my heart on my sleeve. That's a nice way of saying that I'm touchy and I'm going to tell you exactly what I feel, and if you don't like it, that's just because it doesn't match up with your beliefs. Very passive aggressive, and it's very it's almost like a warning. This is me. If you don't like it, it discounts you. If you don't agree with me, you're not worth my consideration. Literally, this is the literal interpretation of, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Literally, that's what he's telling you right here. He's saying it's just a hell of a lot easier. He tells you it will remain so. We're not changing. We're not going to look at the market. See, again, this is where it gets into closed-mindedness, where it says, hey, if you don't like it, hit the road. It's closed-mindedness. It's taking your eye off the ball. That ball is the marketplace. And if the marketplace is saying, hey man, this heavy political shove it down your throat stuff killed Ghostbusters reboot, it killed Battlefield 5, it killed Mass Effect Andromeda, along with massive quality issues. What's some of the other ones? I mean, how many can you name in the last year or two that have been absolutely, utterly destroyed by trying to shove a political message down people's throats? And again, do you understand your customer? Do you understand your demographic? What does your demographic believe? I'll tell you what, there's demographics out there. You can pull up reports about how many people have more conservative values versus liberal values, and look at the total population of just this market. If you look globally, it typically trends the same way. But you're looking at 70 to 80% of people that he's not addressing as a market. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, again, I don't agree with it. I'm not saying good or bad or indifferent. I think all political values have value. I think all beliefs have value. I think they're all legitimate. I'm not saying that whether they are practical or even ethical or efficacious. Some political views are completely ridiculous. You're entitled to them, have them, believe them, live them. But don't expect everybody else to buy your product or to go along with you or sit in the pew next to you or whatever it is that you do. Go to your ayahuasca retreat. Okay, final quote. We have finite time on this world. I want to spend mine making it better and a more caring place. And I'll juxtapose that with his other quote. It's just a hell of a lot easier to ignore it when these politics match up with yours. So basically, again, if you don't agree with me, you're a bad person. And that is not at all, I don't like that kind of an attitude. It does not respect people that don't necessarily agree with you, or they don't want their politics in their video games. Most people, 40% of people vote, give or take. 40 to 50% of people vote. That means half of the population of the United States does not vote, does not take part in political movements. They don't campaign. They don't fund political groups. They don't protest. They're not activist. They do their job. They plant their vegetables. They go to their job. They come home. They take care of their kids and their elderly folks, and they call it a day. Half of the country, that's who they are. This guy is basically telling you that I'm willing to alienate half of you. Now, of those other 50%, probably around 70%. So of that other half of the country, probably at least 70% are not going to be in line with some or all of your political views. This is why these games are failing. This is why based on this guy has just sent up the red flag. This is why that likely Dragon Age, the Dreadwolf Rises, is likely to underperform. That's just a prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a good quality game. But this guy says that basically politics are going to permeate his politics. His politics are going to permeate all aspects of this game, essentially. The art of the game is politics. All art is politics. That is very, very telling. Very telling. So for the Dragon Age fans out there, there's diehards out there going to buy it regardless. I hope you enjoy it. This is one I'm just going to watch. He's already, based on this dev's attitude. And again, and this is what a lot of people do, which they fail to understand. This guy is going to alienate people from buying the game from his comments. So he's working on the game. He's come out with a very passive aggressive, very ultimatum-ish, very he even says ultimately he says ultimately though all art is politics. So he's actually giving you an ultimatum. He's basically saying, I'm developing this game, I'm the director of the narrative. Politics is going to be all through this thing. So he is literally telling you, I've taken my eye off the ball, I've taken my eye off the marketplace, and you are going to get a big heap and helping of my politics with a Dragon Age wrapper on it. Ouch. So I'm going to be sticking away from Dragon Age because I don't like my politics in my video games, okay? Political intrigue where it's part of the story of the narrative, fine, okay? That's always been a part of Mass Effect and Dragon Age. But when they're how do I want to say, you're force feeding ideology to people in a game, which this is really sounding like that. I don't think so. So this is El Viejo Toro with a word to the wise on Dragon Age: The Dreadwolf Rises. Peace.